Hey guys, my name is Ashley and welcome back to my channel, Worth the Read, where we talk about books that are worth your time reading. Today is a great day. It's actually March 21st. I'm shooting this video. It's my birthday. And I had a great birthday gift. A snow day. So we don't have school today in the north. I'm in Philly. So we don't have school today. We got out of school early yesterday. And students pray for snow days, but students aren't the only ones. Teachers, school staff, anybody who works in school building prays for a snow day. So on my birthday, I had a great blessing. So I decided to shoot a couple videos since I've been gone for the last 2 weeks. Now, the thing is, I shot a travel and read with me vlog. My second time trying to do a travel and read with me vlog, and I lost all the footage. Somehow I formatted my SD card, and then I recovered it, and I got the photos back, but not the actual video footage. So I'm trying to figure that out now. And this has happened to me twice so far. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happened for the last 2 videos that I tried to create. Like I said in my newbie booktuber tag, the hardest part for me is the technical part, the losing your footage or the camera and lighting and things like that. So please bear with me. So I'm gonna try to get a couple videos in today to make up for the time that I lost. So today's video is my book versus the movie. And let's get right into it. So my first book versus the movie video will be about A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. I did not read this book as a child. I say that because I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I think I would have if I was a child reading this book. This book was published in 1962. It's a very old book. A lot of people have said that, you know, this is one of their childhood favorite books. Me reading it as an adult, a lot of issues with this book. As an adult right now, I would rate this book 2 out of 4 or 5 stars. 2 out of 5 stars. That's my rating for this book. This book, I wanted to like it because people speak so highly of it, but I just didn't. And I don't see, unless you're a child, as an adult, how do you like this book? There are so many flaws in this book, and it's just like, and one of my coworkers was reading this book as well at the same time I was, and I'm like, well, maybe it's just me, let me ask her about it. And she had some of the same issues that I did with the book. The book is short. It's only about 200 and almost 300 pages. Let me see. No, almost 200 pages. So it's a very short book, and as I said before in my videos, I like short books because only if you get your point across clearly and you don't have major holes in the book. This book had major holes. They jump from one thing to another without explaining anything. And I'm on page 173, and I'm just like, how did we get here? And I found myself rereading parts because I'm thinking I'm falling asleep while I'm reading it, and I missed something, and then I reread it and I realized I didn't miss anything. They just haven't explained anything. A Wrinkle in Time is about a girl named Meg, whose father is a scientist, whose mother is a scientist, and she has 3 siblings. She has 2 twin brothers, and she has a younger brother, Charles Wallace, who is a major character in the book as well. Her father goes missing. And he goes missing for a while. Apparently, he left on a government trip to help the government figure something out. And in the beginning of him missing, he would communicate. In the beginning of him leaving, he would communicate with them. Letters, postcards, things like that. And then all of a sudden, it stopped. And I think it was 4 years in the book as well as the movie that everything stopped, all communication. So he was considered dead or gone missing. So in the beginning of the book, her brother Charles Wallace, who is you can clearly tell from the beginning he has a special mind. He's very intelligent. He doesn't talk much, but he speaks when necessary. And all the great I think the best minds are people who tend to observe more than verbalize. So he's one of those. And he meets three women called the Misses. And they are from the book. Now, I'm going to separate the book and the movie first. The book, three Misses are, I think, stars. Or one of them was a star. And they're like three goddess. This book is very, very confusing. Only because they don't give you details. The dad goes missing. The brother Charles Wallace meets these three goddesses that are going to help him find their father. A random person from her class, and I forget his name, Calvin, a random person from her school, ends up bumping into them one day when they're on their way to see the three ladies in this abandoned house. And then he becomes a part of the journey. He's really not necessary in the book. It's just confusing. It jumps from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, without giving you any backstory or any details about why the book is jumping. I'm trying not to spoil the book for people who haven't read it. Well, you know what? Whatever. If you haven't read this book and you're watching my review, I'm just going to say it. The book is horrible. It's not horrible, but it's horrible. They don't give you any details about the dad's profession in the beginning. All you know is he's a scientist. He abandons his children and he discovers some thing called the Tesseract in the beginning. And that's all you know. The mom is kind of oblivious. She's not relevant in the book at all. She's just there in the beginning. And Meg is struggling in school with her behavior because she's missing her father. But they don't say, like, she's mouthing off. That's it. And they make it seem like she's this horrible student and she should be like her father. She should be smart. She's failing. And the school is just against her. So she's playing this more rebellious role because her father is missing. And her brother is the person that kind of keeps everybody together. And mind you, Charles Wallace is the youngest one in the family. So it just, I'll go into more details about the book. It's just not very good. Okay, so fast forward. Once they go on this trip with the Mrs. Calvin and Charles Wallace and Meg to find their dad, they travel to a world. Now, the book goes into very little detail about these worlds. They kind of are on the planets for maybe 5 minutes. It seems like in the book. They're like on the planet and then they're off the planet. And then they're on the planet and then they're off the planet. And they don't give you details about these planets or how things are on the planet. So they're on the planet, a first planet, and the missus talks to them a little, and then they travel to another planet to speak to the seer, so he can explain more about the worlds and Tesseract and traveling between wrinkles and things like that. But he doesn't explain any of that. He just shows them this black thing that's covering Earth, their planet. And the black thing is all the evil in the world. And I guess this book is metaphoric for that. And my camera fucked up. Okay, I guess this book is more for metaphors, and I don't know. It's hard to explain this book. They go to see the guy, the medium. He shows them that their planet is covered in this black thing, and that the missus can't travel to planets that are it weakens them when they're on evil planets. But they were on Earth, and Earth was clearly covered in the black thing. So after they speak with him, then they travel to the planet that her dad is on. Now, it goes from their arriving at the planet, the missus gives them gifts or tips to deal with the planet because they can't stay on the planet because it's the bad planet. And they discover that the planet, everything is controlled by this entity called it on the planet. So everybody moves at the same time. Everybody does everything the same. The people don't think for themselves. It controls everyone. Now, this planet is consumed by evilness. So when Charles Wallace gets on the planet, it discovers that Charles Wallace has a different brain and it wants Charles Wallace. So it tries to explain to the three of the children how great it is if they let him take over their brain and they can just live in happiness and they don't have to worry about anything. So it kind of consumes Charles Wallace. So in the process of consuming Charles Wallace turns on Meg and Calvin. So they find the dad. They save the dad. Then the dad makes them tesser to another planet to escape, but then they leave Charles Wallace. And it just happens so quick. They happen so quick. And then they go to another planet with these major beasts that walk around that are nice, and they take care of them because the black thing kind of hurts Meg when she testers to the next planet. And then they have to go back to save Charles Wallace. Then they go back to that planet, they save Charles Wallace, and then they go home. That's the whole movie. The book, that's the whole book. And just as I'm giving you very little detail in between explaining anything, that's how the book did. It was very vague. It moved quickly. It was just, I wouldn't read it again. I wouldn't suggest you read it. Now, let's talk about the movie. The movie, if I had not read the book, I think I would have enjoyed the movie more. Take that. If I have not read the book, I think I would have enjoyed the movie more. Because the book was so flawed in my mind, I was looking at the movie through the lenses of a flawed book. And this is only my opinion. The movie does give you more detail than the book about the father. The background and everything in the father. And the director, Ava DuVernay, I watched an interview of hers, and she wanted the main character to be a young lady of color. So she's a black girl in the movie. But she didn't want to feed into the stereotype that black fathers leave their children all the time. So she made the young girl mixed and the father being white and the mother being black. So I appreciate the thought, of not feeding into the stereotype, but it really didn't do the movie any justice. Charles Wallace in the movie is clearly Asian, and he's adopted in the movie. The two twin siblings are non-existent in the movie. And I know when you convert a book to a screenplay, you get rid of characters that are really unnecessary. And the two twin brothers were completely unnecessary in the book. You didn't even have to mention them. So the movie just gets rid of them. The movie also eliminates one of the worlds that they travel to, which I think was probably the best world, was the world of the beast. And Meg becomes familiar with this animal, I guess you would call her Beast, that she calls Aunt Beast. And Aunt Beast kind of explains more in the book than anybody else about the world and the Tesseract and the black thing. And they completely eliminate that world in the movie. So if you're taking things out of a book that is already short to create a movie that'll clearly be short because it's a children's movie, but you're taking out aspects that did give you some kind of detail in the book, it's just like you're getting even less in the movie. Calvin, again, was unnecessary in the movie. In the movie, it wasn't his mom that was mean and evil towards him. It's his father. The missus in the movie, they were, cool like they were in the book. But, again, they don't give you much detail. Reese Witherspoon was very funny. She's very funny. Her comedic timing is very good in the movie. And she really wasn't, her character wasn't like that in the book. Well, it didn't come off funny in the book. And the movie moves quickly. They test her to a planet, then they test her to the next planet to see the medium, then they test her to the planet where the dad is. They save the dad, but the planet where Calvin, the dad, and Meg are, while Meg recovers from her injuries from the black thing, is totally taken out. So Dad and Calvin end up going straight home, and Meg ends up testing to a planet where the it is and Charles Wallace is. So there's never the debate between Meg and the father. Should we leave Charles Wallace? Should we just go home? Should we sacrifice him? Which is in the book. It's never in the movie. So then the it that has Charles Wallace is coming through Charles Wallace, and Meg do this whole standoff on the planet, and she discovers that her flaws are what's going to fight the it and get her brother back. So she just yells at her flaws out to the it, and it releases the brother, and then she testers home. That's the whole movie. The movie is visually beautiful. I will say that. It's visually very beautiful. But I don't want to say the movie was horrible, because when you are basing a movie off of a book that really isn't good to begin with and doesn't give you a lot of details, you don't have much to go from. So I would give the movie 3.5 stars versus the book, which is 2 stars, only because the foundation of the book isn't worth it. So that's my synopsis about Wrinkle in Time and Wrinkle in Time the movie. I was really disappointed in this book. Not so much the movie, because I was kind of expecting it to suck because the book sucked, but I regret reading that book. I really do. Maybe if I'm a child and I read it, I would enjoy it more. But being a child, an adult reading it, and being an adult who read Harry Potter as well as an adult, it was amazing. So I don't think me being older should make a difference. If it's a good book, it's a good book. And Wrinkle in Time is definitely not worth the read at all. The movie was okay. So I tried my best to keep this video short. Hopefully it'll be under 10 minutes. I just really didn't like the book. And I'm trying to be objective, but it just did not give enough detail for me to make the book enjoyable. If you have to reread sections of a book because you felt like you missed something, then it's not a well-written book. I don't understand why this book is a classic. But that is it. If you like this video, comment, subscribe. My next video versus the book will be Ready Player One. That comes out soon, and I'm excited because I absolutely loved that book. So hopefully Steven Spielberg does a great job with the movie. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So like, comment, subscribe. Leave me a thumbs up, whatever. If you're in Philly, say what's up. If you're around the world, how you doing? I hope you're staying warm in this 4th nor'easter that we've gotten. This is crazy. It's March. It's supposed to be spring, and we're battling snowstorms. But there's no such thing as global warming, huh? Really? Okay. Everybody, many blessings and have a great day. Peace.